Hi, how are you? My name's Rachel from Urban Empath, and I'm here on behalf of Healing Crystals to present accessing and balancing the elements with crystals, oils, and sound. So I'm so excited. I see some people are already here. Can you hear me? Is everything going okay? I know Mercury's retrograde, so cool. So let's get started. I'm really excited to talk about this. This is a really interesting topic to me personally. I hope you can see the fire and passion in my eyes. That's the fire. We'll get to that. So why don't we just jump in? The elements, we all have all the elements, obviously, and some of us have an element that's dominant, or a style or way of being that's dominant in a certain element, and you'll be able to start identifying people and things by the elements and the dominance of certain elements, or the interaction, so what we're going to do is talk about how those elements show up and their attributes, and how you can actually access them using oils, using crystals, and sound, and your mind. You know, your mind's the all-powerful tool. Where you put your focus is where the energy goes. So let's get started. I think that's about it for an intro. So let's start talking about Earth. And Earth is all about structure. Earth is about boundaries, finances. Earth tends to be very slow moving. If you think of a mountain, it takes a lot to move a mountain, right? It's also about support. So you might want to ask, are you stuck? Are you feeling stuck? You might have exacerbated Earth element. Are you feeling constipated? You can answer that question in the comments if you want. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that. A sign of too much Earth, though. Also, Earth is about goals, knowing where you're going, having a plan. And when we're too connected to our Earth, we might feel constricted because we're focused on fear. Primary feeling and vibration would be fear if there's too much Earth, and we might experience back problems for lack of Earth, because we have lack of support. And Earth resonates with the bones in our system. Our bones show up as the Earth in our system, providing the structure. If there's exacerbated Earth, it might show up as like foot pain or ankle pain. You might kind of twist your ankle and feel a little ping there. That can be when you're really weighed down, really focused down, and you might feel stuck, very perfectionistic, very stubborn. That can be a tendency of too much focus on the Earth element. And if there's not enough and maybe you need to access more, you might find that you are really in your head, very tunnel visioned, maybe even spacey or dizzy. You can actually tell when someone is really earthy because they may speak very slowly. And actually music that's Earth element is like a lot of just chords and like tied quarter note or tied whole notes, you know, just like very slow moving. So if you're feeling like you need more of that element, if there's not a lot of structure around you, if your surroundings are kind of in disarray, don't have a place, aren't in order, you need more order. And by the way, like people that have OCD and stuff may have an exacerbated Earth because, you know, everything has to be in place. They have to have organization. It's out of fear, you know. But if you feel like you could use some more of that, you could use some more structure, groundedness, I recommend vetiver. Hi, how are you? thanks for showing up. Thanks for commenting. If you feel like you could use a little more earth, I recommend, I'm going to talk about the oil. First, I'm just going to talk about one oil that's probably my favorite for the element. And that one is vetiver oil. Vetiver oil is very thick, very earthy. You can inhale it or put it on your feet with a carrier oil. You can put it like at the bottoms of your feet or on your ankles. It smells so good and it'll get you right in your body. And some crystals that I want to talk about. This is hematite, and it is the most grounding stone. That'll get you right in your body, that'll get you grounded, get you in touch with your earth element. It will definitely counteract any spaciness or confusion that you're experiencing. And what it actually also does is brings higher frequencies down and helps you ground them. So, patchouli is great too. Yeah, absolutely. So that's hematite. Also, my next crystal is celestial quartz. Celestial quartz is all about structure. It helps structure and regulate our energy system, actually. And it also it's an integration tool. It helps us integrate and process higher frequencies. It brings them down into the physical range. Can you see that? Celestial quartz. That's my buddy. I love celestial quartz. And then my third, I'll talk about 3 crystals. I know I'm obsessed with crystals and I love crystals. I have almandine garnet. I have 2 here. I don't know if you can see them in the light. It's kind of dark. My screen brightness way down so I can sleep at night. That's why I can't really see. I forgot. Almandine garnet. Can you feel those? It's a dense energy. That's why I chose them for grounding. For earth. It's dense energy, keeps you really rooted in your body. And it helps cultivate a sense of physical security, safety, and abundance, which is what earth is all about, right? So that's earth. And you can probably experience a lot of earth, and you probably are really in your earth element if you are an earth sign. So wear my Taurus, Virgo, Capricorns, and that's not just your sun sign. Also, you could probably have a lot of earth element if your moon or your ascendant is in an earth sign as well. I actually have a lot of earth in my chart. So if you go to astro.com, you can actually find out the balance of the elements in your chart, which is really cool. And it turns out I have a majority of earth and water, which I always thought it was fire. I would always brag about that. No, it turns out I'm earth and water. And you know what that makes? Mud. So lucky me. Anyway, so that's earth. And you're probably going to be able to go around and identify people as these things. You know how your astrology friends are always like, it's because he's an Aries, that's why he does that, girl, you know? You can be like, oh, that's that earth element, that fear, that constriction. Yeah, earth. That's all about the earth. So if, another thing, if you have a lot of earth, I don't know if I mentioned this, but there will be some constriction, and you can almost become catatonic if you're really, really connected to that earth. Slow moving and constricted. So, but if you need more of structure, and use those crystals and that vetiver oil, or whatever you resonate with. That's what works for me. That's what I like. And I think different things can be medicine for different people. So I'm not all or none thinking around that. Let's move into water. What's water all about? Water is actually how we bond in relationship. Relationship to people, relationship to things, relationship to our feelings. We're either bonding or we're becoming attached. So water element likes to flow. So when it's in balance, it's flowing in our life. And we bond temporarily to things, you know, like, oh, I want to do that again. It brought me some pleasure. or I want to be around this person, I really enjoy them. And there's a bond there, and it flows. When there's an exacerbation of water in the system, or we're really focused and identified as the water, we might get really attached to things instead of just bonded. There's a quality of attachment and clinginess and neediness that can come. And also we might feel like we're drowning in emotions, or extremely empathic and just weighed down by other people's feelings. Hey, okay, so lots of water, some fire to balance that water out. That's pretty good. Yeah, so, and when it's in balance, you're flowing in your creativity, you're expressing your creativity. So it's not just sitting inside of you. And if it's not in balance and maybe you need a little more of the earth element, you might find that you're really heavy and bloated because the water isn't flowing. The water resonates with our lymphatic system, so it helps move things out of the system, and that includes the water. And if the water is just kind of sitting there in our system, it could be because of a lack of the element, ironically. And you might also, if you have a lack of water, be repeating the same emotions over and over again because it's not flowing out. So you might just find yourself in the same state over and over again and not know why, because there's not a movement of your feelings. There's no emoting of them, no expression of them. So it's about emoting efficiently as well. It's also connected to our sexuality, the water element. It's also connected to a nurturing sense. Water signs are known for nurturing. So when it's exacerbated, again, there might be a high sense of emotional attachment to things, to people, to outcomes. You might feel very heavy emotionally, on the verge of tears all the time, constantly pleasure seeking, and drowning in other people's emotions and problems. You might just be taking on too much. Deficiency might show up as a lack of empathy, unfeeling. You might find that if you encounter someone who needs a little more water, that they're really unattached, really detached, really cutting, abrupt. So if you personally need more of the water element, hi there. If you need a little more of the water element, I recommend ylang ylang essential oil. It's really sweet, and it connects us to our sensuality. It's actually a very exotic aphrodisiac, and it can get us back in touch with that flow of emotions. And so I also have 3 crystals that I recommend for water. The first one is chrysocolla, and chrysocolla is great for getting us in touch with our empathic sense. It can actually give us more empathy for the earth itself, which is really needed right now. It also can help us break the patterns of sarcasm or facetiousness or criticism, which will help us in our relationships. And remember, water is all about our relationships. So that's why I recommend chrysocolla. It has a very calming, soothing vibe. Do you like chrysocolla? And these crystals are all, hi, how are you, Jonathan? These are all available at healingcrystals.com as well. So, and this crystal, yes, those are great oils, patchouli, sandalwood, ylang ylang, love them. It's hard to say ylang ylang, isn't it? This is Amazonite. Amazonite is a stone of harmony, awakening your compassion. And it's also a stone for right relationship. So it's really great for that water element. It's also great for speaking your truth, speaking from your heart, which will help you in relationship. And then I also have, for my third water element crystal, aquamarine. And aquamarine is really calming, soothing, cooling. It helps you connect with your subconscious mind and also your deepest emotions, which is what water's all about, right? The emotional system as well. And that's that. And by the way, how do you use these? How do you use the crystals for balancing the elements? Well, one way is to hold them in meditation. So you can hold them in your receptive hand, which is your left hand, or your non-dominant. Some people say both. For me, it's my left hand, which I happen to be a right-handed person, so it's my non-dominant hand. I've heard people say it's always your left hand. I've also heard people say it's always your dominant hand. I'm not really one that likes to say always. So I say feel what feels right for you. And yeah, so you can meditate with them in your palm chakra, in whatever hand feels receptive to you. You can also put the crystal of that element on a chakra of a different element that's exacerbated and use it as medicine. So if you have a lot of fire, which would be your solar plexus, which is right above your belly button, if you have a lot of fire, and water can be very good medicine for fire, because fire is very quick. It's the kind of element that will love them and leave them. And so if you're having relationship issues, say, for example, and you need more connection, and the fire's creating a little too much harshness and directness in the speech, and we need a little more water and compassion, you can put that crystal on that chakra. So you can put a water crystal on the solar plexus, and it'll balance out and harmonize that element. Also, you can use, they resonate with color too with the chakras. So you can put a crystal of the opposite color on another crystal. So actually, let me show you the color system. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. But if you can see the colors here, red is for the root, which is the perineum, which is between the genitals and anus, and it's pointed down to the earth, connecting us and grounding us. And it resonates with the color red. The opposite of red is green. So you could put a green crystal on the root and a red on the heart and harmonize and balance that way as well. Same for orange, the sacral chakra, which is right below your belly button. The opposite color is blue. So you could put opposite color crystal there and balance it that way. Or violet for the third eye is opposite of yellow. So you could do it with those crystals as well, or I'm sorry, those chakras as well, because they relate to us with color as well as vibration and elements. Yeah, so we left off the aquamarine, and those were my recommendations for water. So, and the water signs are Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So are there any water signs out there? I know I have, my moon's in Pisces, my ascendant is Cancer. I have a lot of water in my chart too. So let's move on to the next element. The next element is fire. And fire is brightness. It's like the brightness in your eyes. It's passion. You'll see someone who has a lot of fire. You'll see them light up. They'll be passionate. Yeah, it illuminates. It also shoots up. It like comes at you. It's illuminating, so it brings understanding. It's about leadership. Might find direct and quick speech very direct. And also, fire is very enthusiastic. It always gets things done. Yeah, lots of water. No procrastination with fire. Quick to get it done. Also, it gets us in touch with our anger. And anger is healthy if we use it properly and we express it properly. Yep, it also corresponds to our appetite, digestion, desire. And also, interestingly, fire is about, and I don't think we always associate it with this, but fire is about forgiveness and letting go and moving on. And you may have encountered someone who's really connected to their fire, say, I love you very quickly, and then they're off to the next person. That's the nature of fire. You know, also if it's exacerbated, you might experience rage, like extreme, intense anger. Yeah, very harsh. Might act without planning. You might attempt to exert a lot of control over situations, and be very argumentative. That can be the nature of fire as well. Oh, and if you're not, if you need a little more fire energy, maybe, you might just not be getting a lot of stuff done, not very motivated, not have a lot of passion in your life. And so, or, you know, lack of willpower, feeling very uninspired. I actually recommend the essential oil Wild Orange, which seems like an odd choice because it's not very spicy. People don't assume it's very fiery, but it actually really, really relates to the sun. First of all, it's grown in warmer climates, and if you put it on your skin, and people have done this, if you put it on your skin and you go out in the sun, it will burn your skin. It's phototoxic. It attracts the UV rays. It really resonates with that sun. So, and it can give you that rejuvenated feeling and sense, very sunny vibe. And that's part of what fire is all about. So I have citrine as my first crystal. And this is actually a tantric twin formation where the 2 points grow together. And this will help you with willpower. It'll boost your metabolism. It's actually a very sunny, positive stone, and it can help you with motivation and enthusiasm. And I don't want to forget anything. Yeah, I think that's it. It helps you, it helps take decisive actions and promotes positivity, so you don't give up. So that's a great one. Carnelian has a lot of fire, and it will help you with self-esteem, self-worth issues. It's really great for that. This is actually the artist's stone, so I love this stone. It'll give you confidence, courage. It'll help you assert your will, and you will build your passion and your power, your internal power with carnelian. And the next one I have is sunstone. Can you see sunstone? It's so beautiful. It's one of my favorites. I love stones that like shimmer and glitter. I have so many crystals. And this is going to help you kindle the fire of your personal power. This stone is about leadership. It will melt away anything. Like if you're feeling unworthy or unmotivated, it'll melt those feelings right away. And help you forge ahead despite any fears that might come up. So it's great. I hope you can see that. My screen is so dim right now. So that's fire. Do any of you out there really resonate with fire or know people that do? Can you start to see the elements showing up in people or situations, relationships? And the fire zodiac signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And my son's Sagittarius. My sun sign, I don't have a sun. For any confusion. So let's move on to air. The air element is quick. It's all about thinking. It's quick thinking, quick moving, diverting attention, fast at problem solving, broad perspective. You might recognize someone who's really in their air element because they have a high-pitched, rapid voice. They might be really jumpy, all over the place. And air's about impatience and even releasing the air in your system. And yes, that's exactly what you're thinking. Yes, that's what I mean. And air has a lot of projects on their plate all the time, and they tend to fantasize more than get things done. So fire can really be helpful for air to motivate and move forward. And yeah, if you have too much air in your system, you might feel really jumpy, you might feel really scattered, erratic thinking in speech. Air people are always the people that kind of interrupt you when you're talking and jump ahead in the conversation. You're like, no, wait, you didn't hear this part, So jumping around topics, and actually detached emotionally, and an inability to stay focused. And actually a lot of air can also make you really thirsty. The twins, Gemini. It can make you really thirsty, jittery, restless. You'll have like verbal diarrhea, you'll be buzzing, and the nervous system will be like on high alert. That's kind of the sign of that. And earth can really suffocate too much air, so it can be great to ground yourself back. And that's another thing you can do with your mind when you're really focused on extremes. Like when you're really focused on the earth element and you're really feeling grounded and heavy in your body and really you have the foot pain and all of that, it really helps to move your mind up to the crown or the upper chakras. It works magic for me. It's really good for me. And I think it would work for you too. Just moving your mind up and putting your attention here, because that's where the energy will flow then. If your mind is really stuck down, it's really good to move up. Same thing, if you're feeling disoriented, dizzy, you can't collect your thoughts, tunnel visioned, it really helps to put your mind down to, Aquarius needs a lot of water, yeah. Down to your earth chakras, down and root yourself into the earth. And that can bring down any nervous energy, anxiety, tension, confusion, so that can be really helpful. And if you need a little more air in your life, some symptoms of that might be that you're very dull, inflexible, slow thinking, closed-minded, unable to keep up in conversation, and or maybe even just slow to cool once you're angry. You might just need a little more air to help you detach from those more intense emotions. I actually recommend geranium. It really resonates with the heart chakra, which is our air chakra. The heart chakra resonates with air. And geranium actually uplifts emotions. It will uplift your emotional state. So it'll move it, much like air. Because, as air comes in and moves around the water, it evaporates. Evaporative cooling. So that can be great medicine for air, for too much water, the air element. So if you find that you might need that, I recommend geranium. And geranium is very uplifting for the emotions, and it's balancing. So it's really, really a great one. Of course, there are others. I don't know. What do you guys prefer? That's the one I like. And so the crystals, I have iolite. Can you see that? This is actually iolite sunstone, so it has some of the fire element, but what you would really want is iolite by itself. Can you see the fire in there? It's really pretty. This is actually a great stone for shamanic journey work. It actually blends your conscious knowing with your intuitive mind. And it opens up memory portals to past lives, so you can integrate past life memory, which is really cool. I hope you can see that. It shimmers, it's so pretty. I love it. And the next one I have for the air element, this is a druzy chalcedony. Can you see the druzy? And druzy by itself is probably more water. I mean, chalcedony by itself, blue chalcedony, is probably more of the water element. I consider this maybe a little more air. It's kind of hard to find stones that really just resonate as air. Yeah, and the reason I chose this for air is because it helps with, you know, verbal dexterity, mental flexibility. And, you know, air is all about the thinking and mental processes. What else can I do? Oh, and the druzy, yeah. The druzy re-energizes you, and it'll move blocked energy, and it can uplift your emotions. Actually, when I found this, because you know sometimes crystals find you, I was actually out looking at crystals with a coworker and friend I had when I worked at a metaphysical bookstore. We were in New York City, down near St. Mark's Place, and we found this crystal shop. And I don't know if you can see it, but I was like, there's a little person in there. I see a face. It's like a little cherub or something. And she was like, oh, that's that message for you. That means it's for you. And I was like, really? And I was so like, you know, what's the word? Susceptible at that time. And I was like, really? It is? And then I was like, oh my God, it looks like a baby. That's my baby. That's my future baby talking to me. Okay. That's a little crazy, but I really felt that way when I saw this. Can you see that in there, or is it just me? I know that's so funny, but I really thought that. And talk about exacerbated water, right? My connection and attachment to this stone, which is probably why this air element is great for that. But yeah, so the chalcedony. And do you find that you see images and beings like this? I think there's a name for this. I think it's like messenger druzy chalcedony or something like that. Do you find that your crystals speak to you? Do they speak to you too? Okay, I'm not the only one. Good. And the third and last air element stone, I chose scolecite. And scolecite, it'll uplift your energy. It'll uplift you to a higher vibrational frequency. Oh, it enhances the heart chakra, which again is the air element chakra, which is counterintuitive, right? Because we always talk about how people are heartwarming, but actually when the fire from the solar plexus rises, we might experience heartburn and some stuff like that. So we're actually experiencing the warmth from the solar plexus. There's a story about if this is a great stone to exchange between lovers, because it will connect them at the heart chakra. There'll be like an invisible connection between them or something like that, which I thought was so romantic. This kind of reminds me of selenite a little bit. But yeah, and it's very calming, soothing. I really enjoy this stone. Anything else about this stone? Oh, and it will help you access ancient knowledge. You know, air element is all about thinking and information. So I love this. I even love carrying this with me to work because I need so much cooling. So that's what I do. And so, can you see people that are in the air element that are like jumping in on conversation, talking ahead of you, predicting what you're talking about and what you're going to say? It can be a little much. Just have them think about their feet. You know? No, you know, it's fine. And so, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra are the air elements. So, or do we have any of those? I know someone said they were the twins. So the last element is ether. And ether is all about space. It's actually really connected to Earth because it's the structure in which all the elements express themselves. It's all in music. It's actually the silence after the sound. So it's about silence. It's about space. It's connected to grief. It's connected to loss. It's connected to spirituality and spiritual ritual and freedom of expression. You can tell when it's really imbalanced because someone will have a really resonant voice. There'll be a lot of space. If they have a really constricted voice, they could probably just use a little more. Capricorn, Kathy, they could probably just use a little more ether. Whereas the earth element gets constricted and needs a lot of space, possibly because they have constructed boundaries around themselves. Someone who's really resonating with ether might need a lot of space because they're so expanded, right? The people that sleep in the star position, they might have a lot of ether there. That might be why. Just needing a lot of space, feeling like a hermit. I know I go there. And what else about ether? Oh, you might have unwavering grief, just feeling the loss everywhere. You know, that can be connected to ether, only connected to ether. Also something is, do you have more spirit friends? Are you more connected to your spirit guides than you are actual people? That can be an abundance of, do you talk to your crystals more than you talk to people? I mean, maybe that's an abundance of ether. And you could maybe use a little more earth to ground you down, and can actually construct boundaries around yourself. So you can see how the elements can work as medicine for each other. When there's an abundance of one, or when there's a deficiency, you can use them to balance the system. If you're feeling really spacey, if it's very difficult to be with others, that can be a sign of too much ether, or too much of a connection to ether. Ether's about the space in our system, so it really connects to the throat. The throat is the first chakra of the ether, and it corresponds to our joints, where there's space in between the bones. Anywhere there's space, it actually allows for the other elements to mix. So it's not like here's earth, here's water, here's fire. It's like they're all relating as well. They're not separate. So something you might ask yourself to see your connection to ether right now is, have you just experienced a loss? And what are your spiritual pursuits? Do you have any spiritual practice or ritual in place? It's so important to take time for silence, isn't it? Sometimes we constantly distract ourselves because we're afraid of that silence. It's almost too intense for us. And that's why these tools and companions can really help, like crystals and oils and sound, because it can feel overwhelming to be silent with yourself because everything comes up in that space. If you're feeling trapped anywhere in your life, it could be that you could really use the element of ether in that area, which would be taking space. So are you feeling trapped in your relationship, or stuck anywhere? Are you feeling trapped at work, trapped in your life? Think about where you can add space. Where can you take space there? Can you take space by taking less days, taking less hours at work, or just creating some alone time from your partner or family? You know, are you able to take a vacation, maybe even relocate? What can you do for yourself to create a little more space when you're feeling that overwhelm? Because continuously distracting ourselves isn't really helping. Yeah, giving yourself space to leave when you need to. And so there are 7 main chakras, and the last 3 that we talk about they all relate to ether. The first one is the throat, and the oil I like to use on the throat or for the throat is lavender, because it really helps with expression. Really helps us express the elements, our feelings. I like to inhale it, diffuse it. So it will really help with that. And on the third eye is really about maturity, you know, maturity of our thoughts. And so I related that to sandalwood, which is an oil of maturity. It's also an oil of meditation. And this is where we meditate from. This is where we have mindfulness from. And that's what sandalwood is about. And then the 7th chakra, the crown chakra, it rotates up, and I actually like to use peppermint oil and frankincense. Peppermint is so opening. Actually, if I have like a tension or a heat related headache or migraine, sometimes I will put I'll dilute some peppermint oil and put it right here, just a little bit. It goes such a long way. You don't need a lot. And it just opens it up. And then I'm like, such relief. Like if I can just relax and kind of rest, it really does take it away. It's amazing. I like to use it also on the crown, and I also use frankincense. Frankincense is sacred and spiritual. It's all about ritual too. So what I like to do is I like to put a carrier oil, and I might put sandalwood, frankincense, and peppermint in a carrier, and kind of create like a little triangle here, so that you're inhaling it. And then also what's happening, because the essential oils really like to be in the air, they're vaporous. They evaporate so quickly and get into the air so fast. So when you put them on your hands, they will connect with the crown energetically and through that vapor, and you're also inhaling it. And when you put your hands like this, you're also getting, because your bones are crystals, you're also getting that healing energy of your hands, which I think is really beautiful. And I love that opening feeling. Yeah, I love that. And I love that scent combination. And again, you just need a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. You don't need a lot. And so that will open up those upper chakras and help you feel that space that we need so badly. Well, some of us have too much, but I personally don't. So, so the crystals that I recommend, I have apophyllite, and I actually have a couple pieces of apophyllite. I don't know if you can see that one. It's so beautiful. And I actually have a green apophyllite as well. Let me grab that. It helps connect us. Actually, I feel like this is the right side up. I love apophyllite. It connects us to higher realms. It actually helps lift the veil that separates us from spiritual realm, spirit plane. It'll activate our psychic ability and our higher mind. And it helps us connect to all beings, all dimensions. It's just a stone of connection. So that really corresponds to ether. And then this is a Herkimer diamond. Have any of you worked with Herkimer diamond? Yeah, it's great for meditation, great for dream work. It actually gives us the grace of a constant connection to higher power. That's really hard to maintain, that awareness, but it really does help with that. And it actually, it emanates like this pure etheric, radiant energy, and that actually attracts angelic energy to us. So it's a really beautiful stone for ether. And the last stone for ether I have is, hi, your name's Taurus. That's awesome. Hi from Australia. Hello from New York. This is phenakite. Yeah, and phenakite also helps us connect to the higher realms, higher beings, higher dimensions. It almost helps it helps just about anybody who has that trouble with connecting to their inner vision. I do past life regression work, and sometimes people have trouble accessing that inner vision and seeing the past lives. That's only happened to me maybe one or two times where it was really difficult for them. This stone can really help. It can actually even help groups, a group of people meditating, have an inner vision. It's really, really powerful and potent that way. And it activates the etheric chakras. So phenakite. Have you ever experienced phenakite? I think they have some on the Healing Crystals website. And then the last stone I wanted to talk about, it's really just such a great stone, Shiva Lingam. Shiva Lingam actually resonates with all the elements. It's truly a stone of balance, truly a stone of unity. You know, that's the key word, it's unity. Balance is feminine, masculine, just all the energies. Hi, Mimi. Oh, and because it's been used as a talisman traditionally, historically, and also a stone in ritual, when we use it, we can actually connect to all other times that it was used that way. It's really cool. And it's said that all Shiva Lingams kind of connect to each other. So it really is a stone of connection. Connecting to this and filling up that space between us. So I love Shiva Lingam. I love carrying it around. It helps with mindfulness. It's just such a great stone. So, Om Namah Shivaya. How did you know? Okay, so now we're going to connect to the chakras and their elements with sound. We're going to do the Bija mantras, which I already showed you this handout. I hope you can read it. It's just a nice way because these are short, brief, and Bija means seed. So it's like planting a seed in that chakra. Oh, the phenakite. Phenakite is Phenacite. Okay, so now we're going to correspond. Yes, hi Giselle. Yes, I love these chants too. So let's chant the Bija mantras, and we're going to do one at a time at first to start, and we're going to use our mind. So it's about the resonance of the sound, and you're going to use a mid-range tone. I mean, you don't have to sing extremely low or extremely high here. So remember, the base chakra, the root chakra, is pointed down, and it's connecting us to the earth, and it corresponds to red. So you may want to envision that while you're chanting Lam, and think about red. And then also don't forget that the chakras have a front and a back and they're three-dimensional. So don't just think about the front. I know that's how it's represented here because it's two-dimensional. But don't forget about the surrounding area as well. Thank you. That's so sweet. And then we'll move up to the next chakra. And as we work through the chakras, we're working through the elements as well. And then we can't forget silence, right? So we're going to go lum, lum, vom, rum, yum, hum, om, and then silence. And then in the silence, because that's ether, think about your entire system. And that's how we can have balance, is being mindful of the entire system. That helps chi flow optimally, and it helps with the connectedness and the balance of all of the elements. Okay? So let's start with lum. And I want you to imagine, put your mind down to your root chakra and feel it connecting. And let's just chant the syllable. Lam. Let's do that again. Lam. Are you chanting with me? Do you feel it? Do you feel it connecting down? You feel it? I love it. Thanks. Okay, now we go to the sacral chakra, which resonates orange. It's right below the belly button. Can you tell where it is? And the sound is vam. So put your mind there. Remember, it's orange. It's three-dimensional. Vam. Vam. Feel it? I actually feel it pulsating. So funny. You might even put a hand there. Okay. And then the next one. Ram. It's yellow. And it's, remember, it's three-dimensional. And it's right above your belly button. Ram. Good. I actually feel like that heats me up. What do you think? And now we're at the heart, and it's yum, yum. Again, yum. Do you feel that connecting you to your heart? And now we're at the throat, and this is ether, and it's blue. Again. Good. And now we're at the third eye, and this is and I actually prefer the AUM spelling because I feel like it because it has all the elements in it of creation. They spelled it this way, OM. It's an alternative, but so we're going to pronounce all the syllables, and then we'll have silence, and then we'll think about the entire system. Okay, so put your mind here, your focus here. Try one more time. And your mind goes out to your whole energy field. Hi, Brenda from Trinidad. Okay, so now We can use this chart as a cheat sheet, but we're going to try to go through them and put our mind on each chakra that corresponds to the element. And then at the end, there'll be silence. And we'll imagine that torus of our energy field. And have you ever seen the torus, the image of the torus, where you know, the spiral of the crown and the spiral of the root create the energy field? It's really, really cool and beautiful. It's Taurus. You can look up that image. Sorry, I don't have it for you right now. So let's go through, and we'll just keep going up, and then we'll get to Elm, and we'll have the silence. So let's do it together, okay? Start with the root. Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, and just stay in that resonance for a while. Put your mind on your entire energy field. Good. And that's how you can, tune up your energy field, and connect all the elements and balance all the elements, with the seed sounds, with crystals, with essential oils, and you can tell the quality of the environment is so different. You feel different. Feel more connected, and I hope this inspired you in some way, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I put some links there. I'd love to talk with you and get to know you better. If you want to sign up for my contact list, please do. You can do so at my website. And I kind of just want to leave you in the resonance. So I really, really had fun talking with you today and enjoyed, well, talking to my phone. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Sorry, I felt a little out of it at first, but feeling really grounded after that nice chanting. So I hope to talk to you all again soon, and it was really great to connect with you here. Have a great night and a great weekend.